What's up? What's up? It's the Arthur Most Experience with Deke. I'm Arthur Moats, and that's my main man, Deke.
Good morning, man.
Top of the morning to you, good friend. How art thou?
I'm awesome, dude. Feeling
like
good
it.
after
Swagged
the
out too, man. Still a gang on the cap. Got the nice button down with the USNA
Navy.
Hooper.
I think that's Navy.
Okay. United States Navy Hooper shorts with the fly Crocs. I dig it. They ain't even get to see you had the scarf drip on with the pea coat too, man. Killing them, swagged out. I like it.
Yeah, if someone's using their imagination right now, they're thinking, what the hell?
just think LA, think like hipster, like just their own vibe.
Yes.
I mean, that's Deke though.
It is. Hey, so I gotta apologize for something.
Oh man, here we go. All right, let's hear it.
So do you remember last week when we were having the Phillip Rivers, Matt Ryan conversation?
Yes, I do.
So I did say initially I would take Matt Ryan over Phillip Rivers. And you said that to me multiple times throughout the rest of the podcast.
Yeah.
And I kept on saying, no, I didn't. I just threw him in the mix. I didn't say over.
Yeah.
So I want to apologize for that because I did say that. I didn't mean it,
you're
though.
You're a good guy.
I didn't mean it like that. I did mean just in the mix. Like, hey, you could throw
It's kind of like
Matt
he makes
Ryan.
noise.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You could throw Matt Ryan over Phillip Rivers, but I just want to apologize for that because
I appreciate
that is not what I said.
I was just laughing. I thought you were going to apologize about your QB comments, and in particular, one from New England. Because when we posted the video and we looked at the comment section, man, a lot of people weren't really feeling the Tom Brady top 5 quarterback right now vibe. If you need him this year vibe. Yeah, people wanted me to have you drug tested. It was crazy, man.
That's true. I appreciate the concern. People are looking out for me. But I'm gonna let this one sit. Yeah, I'm fine with it.
All right,
it's
looking better each week, huh?
I'm not gonna say it's just one game.
Is it getting better each week? Because I saw him last night and I was like, still not the game yet. All right, he hasn't clicked yet. You said it's gonna click. I'm with you, man. I'm waiting on it to click. I know Russell Wilson was still clicking.
Rainy weather, tough environment.
Tough environment. He was at home.
I know. It was rainy weather though.
What?
Tough environment in terms of he doesn't have any receivers.
He doesn't have N'Keal Harry's a first round pick, is he not?
Come on, dude. He's young though.
He's first round pick.
What did we keep saying about Mason this whole year?
We're talking a quarterback compared to a receiver is different.
Perhaps, but I mean, sometimes it takes a few years to start popping.
A few years.
It might. A year or two.
Wow. You just keep moving the goalposts. All right.
Everyone's development's a little different. That's all.
Okay.
That was that his first or second game?
Yeah.
Harry's? Yeah, come on, man.
Okay. All right. And what about Julian Edelman? Same?
800 yards.
What?
800 yards, yeah.
All right. Yeah.
Hey, he had a touchdown, no picks. They won the game.
And so, hey, I'm not. They're winning, but is he the reason why? We could say the same thing about the Steelers team, right? They're sitting at 6-5. Is it because of the quarterback play or is it because of the defense?
Listen, I'm gonna let it sit. All right, hey. Just let the season play out.
I like it, man.
I'm gonna be patient with
and here I was thinking you were showing growth today. Here I was thinking that you were ready to just completely get back on the wagon of, all right, that's reasonable. I understand. And you gave it to me. I love it. That's why you deep though, man. You stick with it.
I'm sticking with this one, man. It's Tom Brady. So
and who's your top 2 quarterbacks?
Top 2?
Yeah.
Right now in the league?
Yeah. Hurt or healthy?
Oh, I mean, it's Ben. Ben's won always. So.
All right, I just want to hear that. That's it. Okay. That's all I cared about. All right, we good.
Always won.
We're good. and shout out to Ben too, man. He traveled with the team. Second week in a row now. He went into a away game.
He's got that beard rolling.
Yeah, I like that, man.
I guess you didn't know since he's not playing if he was gonna have the beard rolling, but he's got the cold season thing going.
Okay, all right.
I guess it's a good luck charm for the team. I don't know.
Hey, whatever it takes, man. Speaking of these Steelers, they did get the dub yesterday, right?
What was that face?
I was just hey, you said it's the good luck charm. I'm like, he had it for 2 games. They won one and they lost one. All right, cool. Good luck it up then, man. I'm with it.
Dude, no, that beard he's got, that has to be like a month-old beard.
No.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah. Well, I'm trying to think. We didn't see it in L.A. because remember, injured people aren't supposed to travel. That's what they said. We just gonna gloss over that. So he wasn't in L.A.
I have no clue.
I don't remember. The only time I don't even remember the last 2 games.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I mean, it's got to be more than a month, but
I don't know. I've only said the last 2 games, man.
That's fair.
Yeah. But anywho, these Steelers did get the dub yesterday, man.
Yes.
16-10 on the road. Cincinnati, the jungle, has them at 6-5. Still in the hunt.
In the hunt, we're in the playoffs.
Technically, you're not in the playoffs right now.
6th seed.
Technically, we're not in the playoffs though. The season is how many more games left?
There's a lot.
So you're in the
few
hunt.
More games left.
Yeah, yes. So you're in the hunt. A few more games left. What? A few?
Yeah. What is that?
It's a whole quarter left of the season.
5. Yeah.
Yeah.
A few more.
It's only 16 games.
I think a few's like between 3 and 5.
Yeah, this is like basketball. 5 years, a quarter of the season left, man. It's dang good. Yeah. So it's the whole quarter of the season left. So they're in the hunt. Yes. I do like that part though, man. 6-5, finding a way to get it done. What's your instant thoughts, your instant reaction to the game, man?
Do we want to go right there?
I'm just asking, man. You know, how'd you feel about it, man? Instant reaction, man. Did you like this win? Because I remember the Colts game, you said you didn't like that win because it was ugly.
No, I didn't.
So, I mean, I'm sure this will fall into the extra ugly category because at least the Colts were a better opponent, right?
Nah, considering the circumstances.
It was the same circumstances, wasn't it?
This was more dominating a win than the Colts game, though. It was the same thing as...
How was more dominating?
It was the same thing as the Raiders. That
What?
You never really felt the Bengals were going to win.
You felt that way?
I did, yes.
You might have been the only one.
No, come on.
What? So in that first half...
I'm sorry. Hold on.
What?
Hold on. Time out. After the first half. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay. Well, you can't say
half.
after the first half. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
The first half is no way you felt that, hey, man, we're about to get this done.
Well, here's the thing. This is why I like this one better. The season was over in the first half. It was done. The season was completely gone. Oh, man.
Jeez.
It was done. It was done.
So you felt... So this is my confusion right now. When we're playing the Colts, the game never felt like we didn't have a chance to win. It just felt ugly. Like, yo, it could go either way. It's not pretty. Hopefully something good happens for us, but there's nothing that's saying either or. That Bengals game, man, when Tyler Boyd scored, everybody in Pittsburgh was like, yo, it's done. It's over.
The first half, yeah. Like, how are we going to score?
So that's what I'm saying. How do you feel better about this win?
Because the expectations completely went down the tubes.
Oh, your expectations did?
Yes. And the season was over. Right, how are we going to score? It's over. Make the switch. Mm-hmm. Boom. So you lower your expectations, then anything is done, makes you feel better about it. Exactly. And
I love it.
Duck comes in, scores the touchdown. Yeah. And we go up 10-7, correct? Mm-hmm. And I texted you, and this is what I said on the podcast. Man, they're not scoring second half, so don't worry about it. They did end up getting that field goal. Yes. But I never felt that they were going to come back and win at that point. Okay. Even though I think it was 10-10, right? It was.
It was definitely 10-10.
I never felt like they were going to score again. And
even though the Devin Bush play...
I'm just telling you how I felt. I'm giving you how I felt, and I feel good about this win.
All right. I just want to hear how you would justify it. That's all.
I am, because it was still house money.
All right.
It went from season over.
All right.
10-10. Our defense. They're not scoring on our defense, even though it was down close to our end zone.
It was very close to our end zone.
Where we got the fumble.
And everybody's like, Devin Bush, yeah! And I'm like, what? That was a bomb, boy.
So, compared to the Colts game, if you want to use turnovers as the grading scale, I feel like we had more in that Colts game, or more things that helped us. Okay. Where the Colts self-destructed as opposed to this one. So this was like the one fumble, like that was it, as opposed to the pick six and the missed field goal. So
okay, all right.
But in totality, like I said, expectations out the window. Game's over. So came back.
So as long as the expectations are lowered, anything these people do is going to be overachieving. So it's similar to like the Duck situation, then, correct?
Yeah.
With Mason, the expectation is first round quarterback, franchise level quarterback, so the expectations are higher. Let's be real. That's what they said. So that's what you expect, right? Remember, even I know you didn't feel because you're a Ben guy, but remember when Mason first came in that Seahawks game, everybody was like, "Oh man, Mason's the guy. Mason should have been out there." Remember all that talk was going on, and then the following week with the expectations, "Oh, we want to see this because Mason has this type of caliber." But when he doesn't live up to that, now you're like, "Oh, you suck." Even though we talked about the numbers being the exact same, that's just what they were talking about. But then with Duck, the expectations are a lot lower. So anything he does when he comes in, you like, yo, he's the guy. So I just kind of feel like that's what you're saying right here, man. You were like, the expectations in the first half versus the second half makes you feel a certain way about this game. That's all, man.
Yes. But you asked me how I felt.
Hey, I like it, man.
This is how I feel. I'm just trying to
understand. I like it.
This is how I feel in terms of the Steelers after this win.
Okay.
And I don't know if this is different than the Mason thing, though.
Okay.
Because we've got to see the full sample, not a full sample size of Mason, but 7-8 games up to this point. And, dude, it was time. It was. Okay. Could you agree with me?
We're going to get to that. We'll definitely get to that. Yeah.
But the offense just looked and felt different with Duck out there. That's the thing. It's not saying
the James Washington play, yes.
We're not saying he's some people might be, but Duck is way better than Mason, and the offense is completely different. Yeah. It just feels different. There's a little more swagger. I don't know if that's just me. I'm getting that from the television.
That's cool.
Does that rub off on the players? I don't know, but that's what I saw and what I felt. So,
hey, we're going to get into all that.
Yes.
Because we got to break it down, obviously, because I feel like a lot of people are caught in the highlight play, right? What was the highlight play?
Well, I wanted to ask you about that. Are we getting to that highlight play now, or do you want to go to the defense?
Well, no. Well, first, I was going to give my little instant reaction to the game, too. You're just going to gloss over mine. Man, you know, I just keep my thoughts to myself, man.
Okay, instant reaction.
You know what I'm saying? Can I get my reaction, too?
Yes.
Is that all right with you, man?
Please. Please, yes.
But no, man, I thought that overall, I liked it because when you talk about, first off, you knew you were going on the road. You knew you were undermanned. No Juju, no James Conner, no Marquise Pouncey. So you knew in that regard right there that you already had an offense that was struggling. It was going to be without their key weapons. But the thing I did like was, even though it was an ugly game, to get into the playoffs, sometimes you have to have ugly wins. I tell people all the time, the years that we were here winning division championships, going to the playoffs every year, we had 3 or 4 ugly wins a year. And no matter what it would look like, you found a way to win. Regardless if it had to be on special teams, if it had to be offense, if it had to be defense, you found a way to win, because that's the mark of a team that should be in the playoffs. Good teams win ugly games.
Yep.
And when I saw this game right here, it's like, yo, this is super ugly. But they just kept chipping away, and staying in the fight. And that's what you have to do. Even when the Tyler Boyd situation happened, where he has the big catch on Troy Edmonds, then he comes back the next play, scores on Joe Hayden. You're like, dang, all right. Like, how are we going to match that? What are we going to do to combat that? Mm-hmm. But then you still see the defense still making plays. Then they make the switch at quarterback that a lot of people at the time were surprised, like, man, is this about to happen? But he does it. He comes and hits a nice throw. Boom. They're back in the fight. And then from there, you just see them just competing. And like I said, it's hard to focus on what's ahead. You know what I mean? You can't worry about, the Browns coming up or the Bills coming up or this team and that team. It's like, yo, we got to find a way to win this game right now, whatever it takes. And you saw that, man. You saw Boz coming there hitting field goal after field goal. You saw the special teams unit coming up making big plays. Like you say, you see offense, defense make their plays. Even Devin Bush, he gets beat on the pass, but what does he do? He finishes the play, forced the fumble. Mika, Johnny on the spot, picks it up, gets some yards on it. Like, those are the type of things that I say, hey, I can believe in a team that does that, because there's plenty of teams that wouldn't have done that. There's plenty of teams. I mean, shoot, the Bengals were in the exact same situation, were they not? They had those same opportunities, but they didn't make those plays. And that's why I always look at the difference between good teams and bad teams are in those situations like that. So for me, I like the win.
Yeah, I do too. A win is a win.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely.
So who do you want to cover first?
Who you want to talk about, man? The more important people or the hot topic?
The more important people. Yes, they are. Let's do it, man. We're on a roll.
We are.
And they keep proving to us why we should be talking about them first.
Absolutely,
so why not?
Man. Shout out to the defense, man. These dudes are just flat out balling, man.
Yeah.
Controlling the line of scrimmage. I mean, this is Joe Mixon that was coming into town. We talked about his impact. We talked about how he's arguably a top 5 running back year in, year out. And even with that, they still held him in check for the most part. He had that one drive where we knew, like, all right, Joe could do freaky things. And he was starting to do those things, same that we saw versus Oakland, right? And we said,
dude, the one we missed him in the backfield, like 10 yards back, and he ends up getting the first down.
But we saw that even last week versus the Raiders, where On that one touchdown, he's like, he runs to the right, makes a guy miss, stops, cuts back. It looked like rec ball out there. Like, certain players have that gift. Mm-hmm. And Joe has that gift. And we saw it happening. And it's no knock on this defense. No. Joe is just that caliber player.
No.
So for me, I was like, that was the one dude that I say, hey, if they can make noise, it's because of him. Ultimately, though, they held him in check for the majority of the game. The thing that I also love was how they were getting after Finley the whole game. TJ, Cam, Bud, Mark Barron, like all them dudes were just like, yo, we're coming after you. Mm-hmm. And that's the thing that I love, man, because they consistently keep providing pressure. And we talked about how last week, right, versus the Browns, what was the difference? They weren't getting home. They were missing on those sacks, ultimately letting those guys extend plays. This week, they capitalized on them, and you saw that it was causing those guys to be in very compromising positions, strip sacks, things like that. And that's ultimately what was setting that defense up, man.
Absolutely. And I do want to clarify, actually, where I said us getting that one fumble with Devin Bush. The strip sacks, I don't consider that as like a fluky thing. That's something.
Oh, no, that's not fluky.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, heck nah.
So I just wanted to clarify that. Yeah. I didn't like just roll over those and didn't consider that in what I was trying to say.
Yeah,
but anyway, dude, incredible. I mean, I was most impressed with, Mike Hilton, Joe Hayden, and then Steven Nelson. Dude, he had that sick tackle on third down.
Oh, yeah.
Third and short.
Draw. Yeah, that was the zone read thing.
And then Mike Hilton and Joe Hayden. Obviously, I know Joe Hayden gave up the touchdown, but whole game, they were defending everything.
Joe is my guy. And Joe knows that I would say this to him. So I got to come at Joe.
Okay.
Joe, you my guy, baby. You my guy. Catch the ball, man. Dude, I know you're sick about it because you don't drop interceptions like that, man. Listen, I looked over to Wifey, man. On his third drop, I said, babe, is this Ike T out there? Ike T, my dog, too. I said, Ike Taylor could cover anybody. He won't go catch a cold, though.
Yeah.
I said, man, Joe, this is not what you do, Joe. You catch picks, man. Them Jordan gloves you had on yesterday, you burn them. You throw them in the Monongahela River right outside Fort Pitt, right outside the stadium. You throw them in there and you never touch them again, man. I'm serious, man. I'm serious. Them gloves was killing him.
Yeah, they were.
He don't drop picks like that, man. It was like one after the other after the other.
Yep. What can you do?
But that's my dog, though, man. Love Joe, man. Shout out to Jump, man.
Dude, they played lights out. Like, and that's the thing. They're the ones keeping us in this. And
through it all, through the high, the low.
Legit. I know you said this before, but I'm thinking this is how we're going to have to score. It's going to have to be a strip sack.
Yes.
Taken to the house or a pick six.
Because you notice, what does it do for the offense when they're on a short field like that? One first down, field goal. Those are points, and they add up. It's more than one way to get points. Like, you don't have to just score a touchdown. You kick 3 of those field goals, you're sitting at how many points right there? Now, the defense can really go ahead and play more aggressive because they got a little bit of a cushion. It doesn't. People always assume that you have to score a touchdown. You have to go score a touchdown. This defense is that good where they won't allow that to happen. Like, we're seeing it on a week in and week out basis. So believe it. It's there. It's real. It's tangible, man.
I'm believing it now.
It's no fairy tale. No. It's no hype train. Like, it's legit. This is what they do. You don't have this many turnovers. You don't have these many sacks. This doesn't happen on a week-to-week basis if it's fluke. That's not realistic. This is, though. You see it in their style of play. It travels. That's the thing I love. It's like, you see how some of those like offensive teams, right? They only play good when it's nice weather. They only play good when they're indoors.
Yeah.
This defense, it doesn't matter. Indoors, outdoors, hot, cold, does not matter. That's why they can stand every game. Think New England. Same concept. I know you love Brady and you think he's up there, but let's be real. He's been poo this year, man. He's been poo. But the one thing that's been consistent is the defense. The defense helps them win every game. Difference between them and Steelers are, at least on their offense, they're competent enough where they're not turning the ball over. Whereas here, we've turned the ball over far too many times in critical situations that's cost us at least 3 games this year.
Yes.
At least 3.
Definitely.
So that's the biggest difference between the two. But defenses was carrying those guys up there, and defense was carrying us right now. And that's the thing that I love, man.
I really do. And that's the thing that feels different from some of the switches that happened with the offense earlier in the year where everything felt really hopeless to now where the defense is the staple.
Yeah.
I mean, we've already been to hell and back with this offense, and we're still winning games.
Like, the thing that's funny, like, I'm to the point now, I expect the defense to create turnovers every game, right? And they've done so all but 2 games this season, and they're having multiple turnovers. But when the offense scores, it feels so fluky to me, like, oh, we got lucky. All right. Just don't turn the ball over. We're good. Because you know it's not about to happen again. Like, that's the vibe we got right now.
It is.
Like, even when Duck came in through that dagger to James Washington, it was like, all right, we're good. Don't turn the ball over no more. And literally, that's how you got to win right now, man. Like, when you don't have a franchise quarterback, welcome to the NFL for 25 other teams, man. This is real life right here. We're just lucky here in Pittsburgh that we have a top-notch elite level defense.
Yes.
Because that's the difference. Most of the teams don't have that elite level defense, and you see them real iffy to bad.
Yeah. Bears did last year, and you could see it kind of.
Yeah, but when that defense takes a step back a little bit, or they're not as elite, they're not creating the turnovers. Yeah. You see what it looks like.
No, definitely. I'm hopeful now because of this defense. And you said the expectations are still playoffs.
Absolutely. Why not?
Exactly. Why not? I mean, if they could keep playing like this.
Even though you said it was house money because you thought this, you know what I'm saying, it was over and everything like that, man.
New information.
Oh, cut it out, man.
New information. Cut it out.
Because see, for me, I'm saying 9-7. You got to get to 9-7 right now.
9-7.
So that still leaves me what? You still could drop 2. Because they're not going to win out the rest of these games. Like, that's just not realistic. They could, and I would love for them to do that, but when you just
9-7 gets to 6, you think then?
I personally think so.
With these remaining teams.
I think so. Because I think Buffalo's going to be the 5 seed. They're locking that up.
Yeah. So we don't want Buffalo to be taking a step back.
You do. I don't.
I know. I'm actually starting to come around to your theory a little bit.
Man. Keep it clear. Keep it nice and smooth, man. We know where we got to be at.
There's 2 other teams, Colts and Raiders, right? Or Colts. Got to watch for the Browns too.
Well, yeah. Well, the Browns, we're going to find out a lot this week.
Yeah.
Steelers beat the Browns. That kind of clears that up. Steelers lose to the Browns. Now you got to muddy water a little bit in terms of the tiebreakers and teams that could be competing for that last spot. So that's the only issue with that. But I would much rather just keep it clean. Bills, go ahead and get your 5th seed. Steelers, man, let's see.
Although if we beat them,
I mean,
go down to 4 losses, they lose another one, we'd have the tiebreaker over them.
Yeah, but let's be real. They're sitting at 8 wins right now. They're going to get to 10 wins.
Yeah.
Period. They're going to get to 10 wins.
Yeah.
It's no guarantee we're getting to 10 wins. 9 is a stretch right now. We got to get 3 more. And we're what? The Browns are coming up.
50-50 chance right now between 9 and 10.
I don't really see that right now.
Really?
Browns coming off of putting a 41 up yesterday on the Dolphins. And they just beat us when we were healthy. Even though it was a short week. We got the Cardinals who have shown that they're more than capable to get it done.
I know, there's tough games.
The Jets have started playing extremely hot these past couple games. Put a whooping on Oakland. Even though we know West Coast to East Coast in terms of teams traveling, it's a lot difficult. But they still put a whooping on them. You still got Baltimore up there.
There's some tough games, yes.
Yeah. And who else? Who am I missing?
Bills.
Oh, and the Bills. Yeah.
There's some tough games.
Yeah, that's all I'm saying, man. I feel like it's more of a guarantee them getting to 10 than it is for us getting to 9 right now.
Oh, the Bills? Oh, for sure.
They just need 2.
I would agree with you on that, for sure. I guess I was just more, hey, if we do beat them, then it's more of a, there's more teams in the mix, potentially, depending on what we do the games before the Bills.
Right. Well, that's what it really comes down to now. It's like, you get the job done versus the Bengals. This Browns game, you have to get it done.
Yeah.
Have to.
This is both playoff hopes on the line.
Yeah, literally for the rest of the season, man. Like, Browns, you got to get it done. Bills, you got to get it done.
This is it for the Browns. That they lose this, most likely.
Well, no, because they'll be at 7. Yeah.
So you're still saying 9 and 7, no matter what.
Well, who do you think?
I mean, you have
either the Texans or the Colts are going to win that AFC South, right?
Right. Yeah, the 6 seeds at 6 and 5 right now.
Both of them are sitting at 6 and 5.
Yeah.
Right. So, do you see any of them guaranteed to get to 10 wins?
It's just going to be coming down to tiebreakers then.
Yeah, so 9 wins to get you in.
But you don't want to have 9 wins with the tiebreaker, that potential. You'd rather...
I think that's what it's going to be, though.
Right now we have...
reality, man.
Yeah, right now we do have it over the Colts. And I don't know exactly what the Browns' record is against the AFC North. But
or AFC South.
Wait, what do you mean?
The Browns.
What does that have to do with...
What do you mean?
Well, isn't the second... Is this for the wild card or the AFC North? So it's different, the tiebreaker for in-division teams. I don't know. Isn't the AFC North record the next in play?
For what?
Just getting in the playoffs. What if it's between the Steelers and the Browns?
Oh, you're talking. I thought you were talking like Steelers, Browns, Colts, Texans, comparing them all together.
Yeah.
How are you comparing them then?
I have no clue. I just assumed it'd be.
I thought it would go rankings,
if we split between the Browns 1-1. I just assumed it would go to division record.
Okay, between them two, yes.
Yeah.
I thought you were talking about if we're still mixing in the Colts and the Texans as well, though. Then you're gonna have to compare. If all things considered, then you're gonna compare their record versus the AFC South, their record versus the AFC North, and things like that.
It's too much, man.
Yeah, but you want to get it complicated. You want to keep adding these teams into it. It's gonna get real ugly. Where it's gonna be like, yeah, we need this is win or tie this team. They need to lose or tie that team. It gets real clear. I don't want that. Just keep it clear. You want a nice smooth pass, man. All right, look, you win these last couple games right here. We're in there. Keep it simple. Yeah,
I'm good with that.
That's what I'm saying, man.
The defense is it. They're the reason why I feel good about these next few games.
Without a doubt, man.
But do you want to get to this hot topic?
Oh, yeah, man. These kickers been balling out, man. Shout out to my dog, Jordan Berry, mate, my Australian companion. Shout out to Chris Boz. The Wizard of Boz is back. Is he not? Is the Boz not back?
He's back.
He's back.
Pro Bowl.
He's balling. He's doing what he does, Mr. Automatic. And Barry just dropping bombs all over the place, man. Here you go. 60 plus, you know. I like that. I like it. All net.
In all seriousness, they
were a key contributor to the game.
Very much in terms of the
major impact.
And the what would you say the field possession game?
Field possession, absolutely. Yeah.
They were a huge factor there.
Field position plus points.
You were never sweating it too much, especially in the second half.
Yeah, because you knew that punt's gonna be where it needs to be. The coverage units were doing what they need to do. Shout out to all those guys. Dangerfield making tackles. Benny Snell down there making a big tackle. Justin Lane, he had a big tackle on punt, open field tackle, keeping the field position battle. Got to get them boys love. I know you like to just gloss on over them, man. We're not glossing over the special teams unit, man. They deserve love.
You could tell
they deserve it.
You could tell I'm getting antsy over here.
I see. Because you don't want to talk about none of them.
I'm trying to be patient. All right, let's talk about the playoffs maybe a little bit too, and the defenses could carry us these next games.
You want to talk about the out of all the important factors in this game. No offense to Duck or Mason, but of all the important factors to this game, you want to talk about them over these other two monster performances. That's all I'm saying, man.
They were big performances.
Monster-like performances. Put some respect on these guys.
Yes.
This reminds me when we had this conversation about a clutch moment. You want to gloss over the 3.5 quarters of a team dominating to talk about one guy or two series, and you're like, he balled out.
Nope.
Like, no, he didn't.
I don't want to. No, he did not. I don't want to gloss over. It's just natural. That's what it is. Yes.
For fans, yes.
I don't want to gloss over. Yeah. I want to give credit where credit's due. Although, here's the thing about the clutch stuff.
Yeah.
All of it has to be factored in.
It does, absolutely.
Like, you still got to be a good quarterback all the game. So I'm not the Skip Bayless, Tebow hype type of stuff.
You do, though. When you talked about Ben for his first year, we talked about how clutch he was, right? He balled out clutch. Super ball out.
He did.
Yes, he does. He did.
Because I looked up the stats.
I know you did.
I think he had 4 or 5 game-winning drives his rookie year.
Yes. You just said it right there, though.
Yes.
Just game-winning drives. We're talking what he was doing first quarter, second quarter, third quarter.
He did what he had to do.
He did what he had to do is a nice way of saying he did not do that. Yeah. He didn't. We already talked about it.
He was a rookie,
it doesn't matter.
No.
All I'm saying is when you talk about Ben in his first year, you talk about him as if he was carrying the team. That's what you talk like. No. And he was not. It was the defense and the running game. He would do his job and not turn the ball over, make the throws in the last 2 minutes, the last drive or two, and that's all you needed from him.
I'm just saying.
Understand. Put it in context, though.
You would agree with this, though.
Yes.
He's a notch above rookie young quarterbacks. He was.
I would say so. Yeah. But who rookie quarterbacks are we comparing to? Like Peyton Manning?
Oh, yeah. I mean, he had a better. He had a better rookie season than both those guys.
And what in terms of wins and losses? Well, I mean, obviously.
Well, there's that, and efficiency. Peyton threw most picks in the league.
He did
his rookie year.
Yeah, he did.
If you look at Breeze's first 2 years, his stats were terrible.
Yeah,
people wanted to write him off.
Eli, Phillip, how were they?
bad.
Yeah, you sure? Or are you just saying it?
No, I promise. I remember this time in my life. They were bad.
I remember this time in my life. I always got to. I'm gonna double check your stuff.
Oh,
man.
Please do.
Because I'm about to say I know how you get sometimes.
No,
man.
dude, I'm telling you.
Hey, because like I said, we asked right now. You said Ben's number one quarterback, so I already know. It's a slight level of bias.
I'm telling you, you could check all that right there.
That's cool, man. That's cool.
I'm 100% on that. There will be no apologies for me next week.
Hey, that's fine. I'm with you, bro. I'm with you. Hey.
Okay, so is everything covered? Or
Shout out to Danny Smith.
Okay.
Shout out to Coach Tomlin, because he had to have the guts to make the decision that you want to talk about. He had to have big guts for that.
Or it was just obvious, I think.
Let's just stop it. Let's go ahead and do it there.
You sure? I don't know.
Yeah, no, I'm messing with you. I'll let you get your hard time. You know that, I don't want
to, because you brought up Tomlin. That's a good point. We should applaud the
just
coaches.
Because, like, the reason I say Coach Tomlin is this. Throughout the past couple of weeks, right? Whether it was good performances, bad performances, he's had to answer the questions about Mason. Do you believe in him? Is he your guy? When the fans were saying we should switch to Duck at halftime of the Dolphins game, he still was like, no, I believe in Mason, and Mason comes in and gets it done in the second half. So in that regard, it's like, this wasn't an easy decision to make, especially when you talk about, hey, this is the guy you done double down on, right? Franchise quarterback, first round grade on him. We make the trade for Mink. We make the trade for Nick Vannett. We're making sure because we believe he can still get the job done. You say all that, and then when people ask you questions about it, you blow them off like, man, next question. I mean, we talked about that too, right? So for him to say, you know what, bump that, let's make this switch, that takes guts. It definitely does, man, because essentially you're admitting that, hey, I might have been wrong somewhere along the line right here. Or right now, it's not looking like how it needs to look. I got to make that move. And the thing I did like was at the end of the game, he still didn't say if it was final or not. Mm-hmm. See, he still left the door open. So I do like that part of it. But I think, man, if they never say that Mason has all that stuff, franchise quarterback, first round grade on him, I think if they never go that far with it and they just say, hey, it's an open competition at quarterback, whoever's the hot hand we're going to ride with, I think that would have boded a lot better.
I can't even remember. When did they say that?
Say what?
The first round, we had the first round grade on him.
As soon as Ben got hurt that week and they put him on IR. Yeah, because we had to come in and do the radio show. We're doing Still Nation Radio.
Bad timing, man.
And we're talking about how, I'm like, it's over. Like, Ben's done. The season's done. Like, we don't have a quarterback. And then literally reports come out. Oh, yeah, man, Coach Tomlin and Kevin Colbert feel that, they're more than capable to get the job done because they had a first round grade on Mason. And we're like, well, if you had a first round grade on him, why didn't you take him in the first round? Why wasn't he your second player drafted? Remember in that draft, you took Terrell Edmonds, you took James Washington, and oh my goodness, what's the other cat? Oh man, the lineman, Chooks.
Yeah.
Okafor. Yeah. You took all three of those dudes before you took Mason. So that was my biggest issue in terms of you saying they should have the first round grade. And that's what a lot of media people were saying. Like, well, how can you say that? But you took 1, 2, and 3 before him. But then that instantly put a level of expectation on Mason that he had to be first round caliber and he can go out here and execute. And then Mason goes out, plays well, San Fran, right? But then remember, after he got hurt, he comes back and he's like, yo, man, I want to throw it more. I want to sling it downfield more. And I told you on the pod, I'm like, yo, I don't really like that idea of him just being confident. I want to throw it downfield because I know how that gets sometimes. And then literally it's just been downhill, man. But with Duck, they never put that type of expectation on, right? With Duck, even in the preseason, it was like, oh, you're just a camp arm. Then when they bring him in and he plays well versus the Chargers, like, oh, he didn't kill us. So the expectation has always been very low for Duck. Oh, he's a 1AA guy. He has nothing to lose. He's undersized. So anything he does is like, wow, it's magnified, right? Mm-hmm. And he plays that way too. Mm-hmm. You look at Mason. Mason is playing like, yo, I can't mess this up. I got to be the guy.
That's it right there.
Yeah, whereas Duck is like, man, they don't have no expectations. They don't believe in me. So anything I do, like, I don't care. Like, I'm going to just do me. And that's a good way to play, man.
Yeah.
But you could do that when you don't have the expectations.
Yeah. And here's the thing I was thinking was if he were to throw a pick or two, I wouldn't even be mad. Just like, all right, whatever. It's Duck out there. He's a gunslinger. He's throwing a pick. Whereas if Mason throws a pick, you're like, what the hell are you doing?
But why is that?
You explained it pretty well.
It's crazy, man. It's the expectations.
You explained it pretty well. But yeah, the thing is, it's different for the fans having this expectation, how we react to it. But if you're playing based off that, that's a problem then. Yeah. Because it's affecting the team. It's affecting how the whole game is being played.
But it's funny you say it's one thing for the fans that like that, it's nothing for the players that like that. Players are humans, man. I remember Jarvis Jones, Bud Dupree early in his career. The expectations on them as first round picks were for them to have 10 sacks every season. And my expectation for me, like when people look at me, it's like, oh man, you're still overachieving because you weren't even supposed to be in the league this long. You're a 6th round pick. You came through free agency. We signed you to a nice like mid-level starter contract, not nothing gaudy. So me and Buck had the same numbers, but the way they viewed mine was like, yo, man, you doing your thing, man. Big ups to you. And they talking crazy to Bud. And I'm like, well, technically, I mean, our numbers are like, damn, the same. Like, but it's just that level of expectation and what you expect from that person because of what they were drafted as or what the organization says behind them. But you could see it. I would watch on film and I would say, yo, Jarvis, why aren't you just balling? And you can say he's like thinking like, yo, I got to do this right. I got to get to this number because if I don't, people going to view me as a failure. And that's the human element of it. So even with Mason, it's like, shoot, if Mason goes somewhere, like the thing that I always say, like with quarterbacks like this, right? Or players just in general like this, a lot of times once the expectation is high on them like that, if they struggle, the best thing for them sometimes is to have that bench role where they put them down and it's like, yo, it sucks. You got the mud on your face. No one believes in you. But then from there, when you get that next opportunity, now you're able to just go out there and just play.
I should be out of the league anyway.
Right. It's like, yo, they didn't believe in me. No way. Let me go ahead and just do my thing. Because right now, when you're trying to just be perfect, you're trying to like please the coaching staff, please the fan base. You're not just playing your game. And a lot of this, man, is physical, but a big portion of the game is mental. Like if you're not where you need to be from a mindset standpoint, you're not just relaxing, just going through your progressions, doing what you're supposed to do out there. It messes with your game, man.
You know what's a weird example for that type of situation that actually happened? It was Tommy Maddox. He was a first-round pick for the Broncos, gets bounced out of the league, was in the XFL, came back, and had a good season or two with us.
Nick Foles, another one.
Exactly.
Think about Nick Foles, man. He comes in. The expectation for him when he's in with
True. And then he gets signed with the Rams.
Yeah.
It sucks. I mean, could that be Jeff Fisher though? I don't know.
I'm just saying, like.
But yeah, he was cast out, and then Carson Wentz gets hurt.
Because even the first thing he had in Philly, he did well with Chip Kelly, right?
Yeah. And then he signed the contract.
Signed the contract.
Or the trade, something like that. And he was supposed to be the franchise guy.
Yeah.
Obviously failed, and then somehow made his way back over to Philly, back up.
Right.
Wentz goes down.
The boy was considering retiring. Think about that, bro.
And Wentz, that was an MVP season for Wentz.
Yeah.
He goes down, so Eagle fans, season shot.
Yeah.
Expectations.
He comes in, it's like, I just play.
Completely different. Yeah.
A lot of times that's how it is, man. So like for Doug, this is the perfect situation. He comes in, he hits that pass, boom. It's like, don't nobody care what the rest of the game look like. Don't nobody care. When you look at his numbers, we talked about this, right? You look at his numbers versus when you're looking at Mason's numbers. One had a touchdown, one had a pick. But it's like the one thing that you feel good about with Duck is you didn't expect him to come in here and do that. So when he did it, you're like, oh, yes, I need that. Let's go. It's the truth, man.
That is, I don't know if you can remember back to the Ravens podcast after that game, whenever we were talking. That's how I felt whenever he came in. There's something that was just off with Mason at the helm where I remember I said this, and every time we would get a first down, every time we'd be moving the chains, it would always just feel like painstaking. Like, we're lucky to do this. And like, man, we should be punting every time, it feels like, but just for us to keep moving the chains. And when Duck's in, like I said, the result, how much the result is completely different, I don't know, because like we said, after that touchdown pass, how much different was it?
5'11", 118.
The feeling is just completely different. Yeah. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know how much that affects the team, that affects the offense.
I think it affects
the running game was pretty
more.
solid the whole game, but there was something with Benny Snell in that second half where it felt like I'm closing the game.
Right.
Duck's in there with Benny, like those are our two guys. I don't know what it was. I don't know what it was, but I'm telling you what I felt watching the game. I don't know how much credence you can give.
I can dig it. I'll say this, right? We knew going into the game the Bengals struggled mightily against the run. We saw that. People were like, well, it's the accumulation because they're always playing down. It's like, no, it's not because they're always playing down. It's because they aren't fundamentally gap sound. Their linebackers can't get off blocks. It doesn't matter what part of the game it's in. Shoot, we were down versus the Browns last week. We still were efficient versus the run. they still were averaging, I think, under 3 a carry. Like, those are the differences. With Benny, he started off slow, but we thought he would because obviously come back from the knee injury. We talked about it through our texting. We were like, yo, who's this 40 kid? This Kareth White. this Kareth White dude's balling. Who is this guy? I like him. Like, he provided a spark. He looked good. He was twitchy. Then Benny got going in the second half, and it was more so just, hey, Benny started making some plays, making some guys miss. He broke off that 20-something yarder. That was huge. Those things help out. We weren't seeing all that in the first half realistically. In terms of like the consistent pounding.
My thing is, we did have the chance in the red zone though, and Mason threw the pick.
Yes,
that's the thing. Yeah. He didn't take advantage of that opportunity. And
yeah, but I'm not even talking about just the chance to score. I'm just saying like moving the ball consistently or controlling the clock.
True.
That I think was that one drive in, was it the third or fourth? I don't remember. We had a nice little drive where you're seeing like just taking time off the clock with the running game. It's getting first downs. Like, we weren't seeing that a lot in the first half. And I think it was just due to, number one, Benny having to get back up to speed. And I think once he did do that, it made it a lot easier for Duck in the second half. We can attest to that.
Yes. Yeah. So it's not. So
what's up, man?
It's just. It's just funny then because there's some outside factors in play then.
In what regard?
Like, if Snell's not where he is physically in the first half, that affects Mason in the offense.
Oh, without a doubt. But we tell people all the time. I tell you all the time that fans don't like to hear that because it's just.
I don't want to hear that right now.
Because it's just easy to just jump onto this hope of, oh, offense looks good with him in there. Offense doesn't look good with him in there. Boom, it's that simple. But when we really break down the facts of it all, we see it. And it's like, you see its correlation to everything. You see, okay, that equals that, that equals that, that equals that. It's never just, oh, he's the guy. Put him in there. It was that simple. It's never like that. But that's why we always say that as media people, it's important that we watch the film sometimes to like educate the people on that regard because they don't always get to see that.
Yeah. I mean, you bring up a good point. I don't want to hear it right now, but it's
but it's true. It's how it is, man.
It is. It's a very good point.
Yeah.
Now, what did you think of the touchdown pass? Was there anything there that you saw where that could have potentially been a mistake, him throwing that? Or was it just an all-around good throw and good play?
It was good pass, stepped into it, hit him right in the money. I like the fact the ball placement and the place where he could catch it and run. And then from there, you see what James Washington does. He runs, and shout out to my dog, BW Webb, former teammate of mine, hometown cat 757, but he got the bad end of a highlight. Oh, you try to avoid those in your career because those are the ones that stick. Yeah, James hit him with the stiff arm, and then he trips and falls. No, it looks terrible. I love James, though, man. James looked good in terms of the run after. That was the type of stuff that you want to see, that you felt that he could do.
Mm-hmm.
But we weren't seeing a lot of that this season, whether it was miscommunication, whether it was drops, whether it was bad throws, whatever it was, we just weren't seeing that consistently. And seeing him make that play was huge. Like I said, for Duck, I love the throw. He stepped in, it was confident, it was right on the money.
I didn't know if there was potentially anything in coverage where maybe a guy made a wrong read or...
Well, see, I haven't watched the film on that regard yet. Yeah, so when I check that out, then we'll see even more. We might have to break that down. But, you know what I'm saying? Little hint.
Dude, James Washington, though, over 300 yards in November, 2 touchdowns. I looked at the stats.
Called him Mr. November? They were calling him Mr. August because he only doing the preseason. Now he's Mr. November. I like that.
You would much rather have that month on your Mister.
Yeah, absolutely.
But he's on pace for almost 700 yards, like in 600 yards, like a little Marcus Wheaton type season, which is pretty nice.
Okay, all right.
Why the okay?
Well, we view it differently. Like, I think that's cool when you're paired with 1,000-yard receiver somewhere somehow. I don't like it if that's like potentially your leading receiver.
Oh, right.
That's what I'm saying. I'll be like, just leaves me wanting a little bit more. Like Wheaton does, because you already had AB going crazy. It's like, and we had that. Heck yeah.
And we had Martavis.
Right. So it was so much more that's like, if that's your third wheel doing that, like, ball out, young man, ball out. But right now, that's...
Expectations are low. They're low, man. They're low. I mean...
see, this is where we differ. It's like, whatever my expectations are for you when the season starts, they stay there.
So 900 yards.
Period. Like, and for Bud, I need double-digit sacks. Period.
He's getting there, man.
For Juju, like, I needed X amount. Period. Like, James Conner, this is what I needed. Period. So anything you fall short of that, that's how I'm gauging you. I don't move my expectations for you because, oh, the season's rough. Oh, it's this. Oh, like, no. Find a way to get it done, man. Because that's how it is in this business. They're not, trust me, man, when the season ends, they're not going to look back and say, oh, you had this and you had that. Oh, and that happened and that. It's going to say, what was his numbers? Period. That's how it is. That's the game. It's cutthroat like that. But the thing I love about it is just pure. You know what you're going to get. You know what to expect. It's no question marks about it. It's like, no, all right, these were your numbers. Okay, that's what you are then. If you're a 1,000-yard receiver, you're a 1,000-yard receiver. If you're a 600-yard receiver, then you are just a 600-yard receiver. That's how it is, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got 2 questions for you.
I like it. Because I had a question for you too, man. Let's see yours.
You do?
Yeah.
Okay. Was it time
to make the move?
Yeah.
At that point in the game, absolutely. At that point in the game, the offense was stagnant. Mason had carried over his bad reads for 2 weeks now. And they cost you a total of 5 interceptions now off of bad reads. That's the stuff that you can't do. Prior to those 2 games, talking about the Browns game, even though he wasn't getting the gaudy numbers, the one thing he was doing was protecting the ball. The one thing he was doing was going the right place with the ball. And that was the thing that I was like, okay, hey, you can win with that, because a lot of high-level quarterbacks that struggle offensively right now, the one thing they're doing is protecting the ball. They don't have to stretch the field. Even though fans want them to stretch the field, they're like, no, I'm going to throw the ball where it needs to be put. Mason hadn't been doing it the past 2 games. He had been trying to force stuff, and you could just see it with the coverage reads. They were late, throws behind, just throwing the ball where you should not throw the ball, period. We talked about that.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, that was the one thing where I'm like, okay, maybe it does make sense right now to get him out, because you're at a point in the game where you have to win this game. Like, there's no excuse about it. This is one of those games you have to book that we're winning. No questions. So you say to yourself, if you're Coach Simon, yo, how do I get this done? How do I get this spark? All right, let's go with Duck. Now, there was no guarantee Duck was going to come here and throw a touchdown.
No.
It was no guarantee that even when he made that pass, it was a beautiful pass, but the DB just is a competent player, makes the tackle. It's a totally different conversation.
No, you got to finish the drive.
Right. And who knows how that looks. But the one thing is, hey, he makes the play. James stiff arms a guy, outruns everybody else. You get the points. It's a totally different vibe. So that's kind of how I looked at it. But it's like, you knew, okay, Mason at the time wasn't going to get it done. Mason at the time was in his own head. Mason at the time wasn't playing with confidence. So you have to make that move. And that's kind of how I looked at it. I don't think it's Mason is never going to get another opportunity, or Duck is the guy for the rest of the season. I honestly think it still could be week to week. I don't know who they're going to start this coming week. I think you go with the hot hand and Duck. But if Duck comes out there and throws 2 picks, you're going to be the same person that's over here on this Duck train. We talking about put Mason back in, because that's what fans do. And we talked about also, what did we talk about too? It's always easy to come in as the backup quarterback and make plays, because what? Remember we talked about this when Mason came in versus Seahawks and everybody was all hype on the Mason train. I said, hey man, it's easy to come in when you've been preparing for them and they haven't been preparing for you. And it showed that first week he balled out versus Seattle. Then you start to see it take a drastic drop the next couple weeks. Same situation right here with Duck. It's like, Duck, man, hey, you look good right here, baby. You balled out. You got the job done right here in the second half. They won't prepare for you. You will prepare for them. Now let's see what it looks like versus Cleveland if you're the guy. But what I think the coaching staff is going to do, I don't think they're going to say right away who's the starter.
I think you're smart.
Yeah, absolutely.
The art of war.
Yeah, you play the game with them. Even though you know it's going to be Duck come Sunday, you play the game. Hey, man, I don't know. Hey, we're going to keep it open for the week. Yeah, open competition. Quotation marks. Yeah. But we all know Duck going to be starting on Sunday. It has to. Just because.
We talked about it.
Yeah, he has to start, man, because of how Mason looked in these past 2 games. And even though Duck didn't do anything that was like, oh, man, he went in here and lit it up for this many. He had the big play. He provided the spark. He got the win. Didn't turn the ball over. You got to ride with that.
Yeah. And the thing that I like about him is, I mean, the line, it's not the line of old.
He's more mobile.
Exactly. Yeah. And that just simply, it helps us win games. Yeah. Like,
because you saw a couple of times, too, in the game yesterday, where Mason is getting pressure and he can't escape.
He can't.
It was coming sacks or janky, like, let me throw it late
last
while
second.
I'm falling, scaring everybody.
Intentional grounding.
Yeah.
Yep. There's been too much of that these past 2 to 3 games, and it didn't look like it was getting any better.
Right. Whereas at least with Duck, he's mobile enough that I can get out of that situation.
And I feel like that'll just help. I mean, nothing happened in yesterday's game where he was able to get out of there and throw it to a receiver.
But it still minimizes the negative play, though.
Well, that should help, though, in terms of, man, our receivers aren't open right away because that is something that seems like we've been struggling with, these receivers getting open. But if he could, make a play for an extra 4 or 5 seconds, that just opens it up. Maybe we get an extra first down here or there and are able to keep going with the drives as opposed to another sack, another intentional grounding ball in the dirt. So I did like that. Just I like that fact. I mean, you could talk about the throwing talent or how much better. I don't even know. We shouldn't even be comparing these guys at this point. It's just who's going to help the team win.
That's what people do, though.
It's just who's going to help the team win. Like, this dude's skill set it's going to help, in my opinion.
I'm with you.
Are you with me?
I'm with you.
You're with me? All right, cool. Well, you kind of answered my other question to you is you roll with Duck then next game,
Yeah,
right?
you got to. Yeah.
What's your question?
Do you feel you got to roll with Duck?
100%.
100%. Now, who do you make your quarterback the rest of the season? That's my question for you.
You're saying make the announcement like now as opposed to going week to week?
I'm just saying, like, would you rather go week to week or would you rather just double down right now and say Duck's my guy for the rest of the season?
That's tough. I don't know. What do you think helps?
I'm just asking.
But I don't know.
I mean, they always say he who has 2 quarterbacks have no quarterbacks,
exactly.
Right?
No,
so if you believe that Duck is this guy, right? If you believe that Duck is the best man for the team, do you make that announcement that Duck is your guy?
I think you said Tomlin's a big players coach and knows how to read the players. What inspires Duck more? Having someone behind him where he feels like he has to go out and perform every week and his job's on the line week to week?
I mean, technically, he's going to have that anyways, right? As long as Mason's on the roster. Same concept for Mason. Even though they've been said that Mason was the guy.
All right, then just say it. Yeah. I'm good with saying it, though.
Okay.
If that's the case, then say Duck's our guy rest of the way.
Okay.
Not now, though.
Not
actually, well, so here's the thing.
Give him the confidence he needs, man.
No, but if we're going to wait and see for the Browns game just to announce it, just to help our chances and ruin their game planning, then wait.
But I think for the Browns, if they're competent, which we really don't know, I think you still have to assume that, hey, Duck is the guy you got to prepare for.
Yeah.
Just because you saw the spark that he provided when he came in there, you know what Mason is. So in terms of, like, you've played against him, you've seen him in that next 2 quarters, like you saw what he looked like versus the Bengals, is very consistent over the past 2 weeks. He struggles with cover 2. He struggles with some of his throwing reads. You know how to attack him now. He can't move in the pocket. With Duck, it's like, all right, let's game plan Duck, man. That's all I'm saying, man. If I'm Cleveland, that's my mindset.
Yeah. So, do you make the announcement?
I don't think it.
That's the thing, because
what's my thing, right? If it really depends on if they truly believe in him. Like, I know fans are on the Duck train, right? 100%, 1,000%. But we all know how quick the fans like the mob. We talk about this. Like, if this was Gladiator, if this was back in the Gladiator days, this is the Coliseum, this is the mob. Hey, man, that guy's looking good. Hey, we're all for him. Thumbs up. He comes out here and stinks it out. He come out here and throw 2 picks in the first half at Heinz Field next week. The mob will turn on you.
No, the next
kill. Thumbs down, and they be hollering for Mason.
No, they're not hollering for Mason. It should be Kaepernick then. That's what it should be.
All right.
That's what it should be. I'm just saying.
Okay.
Then maybe that's a different conversation.
That is.
Some guy, I saw this on the Facebook feed. They said that. They said switching to Duck opens the door for Kaepernick, actually.
I'm with it. Whatever it takes to win.
Exactly.
I just leave it at that. Whatever it takes to win, man.
So yeah, Duck's not getting it done. Kaepernick's the next guy. I don't think you can go back.
What about Paxton Lynch? We got Paxton Lynch on the practice squad.
Nah,
you don't get no love.
We're not listening to my boy on that one.
Oh man, all right, it's first round talent too, man.
We're not listening to my boy.
He actually was a first round pick too, with that first round talent. Just throwing it out there.
He was, but nah, come on, dude.
I'm just checking.
Nah, come on. We need that mobility. Kaepernick would provide that too, but. Hey, we're getting ahead of ourselves. Like I said, it's a different topic. We're rolling with Duck. Quack, quack.
Quack, quack, man. All right, Ducks fly together. I'm with it, man.
Get it done against the Browns. Is there anything we're missing? Obviously, there's...
No, we are missing something.
Shout
out to the new kids. Deion Kane.
Man,
I know. Hey, a lot of people were down on him. A lot of people talked bad about that young man when he signed with the Steelers. Talk bad about.
Wait. They were talking bad on him.
Yes, they were. Oh,
or
this dude.
Or were they just saying, hey, we want Pryor?
No, they were like, yo, you would rather take this guy over Terrell Pryor over this guy. You look at, he was on some. He got 3 catches or 6 catches for his whole career. He's bum. He sucks. Man, you can find anybody. I could come off the bench and do that myself.
Dude, where are you finding these comments?
Dude, I work Steelers radio for a living, man, right now. People call in. People tweet.
No
way. You got to have your feet to the ground. You got to be out here, you know what I mean? I'm out here on these streets, man. These Steelers streets. I hear it directly. Damn. And I'm just like, wow, that's how y'all feel about these young men? Yeah.
Wow.
And you, man, let's be real. You might want to act like you unaware of these situations. You yourself indirectly.
I didn't say anything bad about him.
No. You didn't directly say his name, but let's be real. The comments that you were making to support Terrell versus Deion were very degrading. That's all I'm saying, man. If Deion would have heard them comments, even though you ain't say his name, he'd have been like, yo, what's good? And we can all agree upon that. That's all I'm saying, man. So shout out to Deion because he comes in, has the big catch, 1 catch, 35 yards, but then he also gets the big defensive PI penalty as well, man.
He did, yeah.
And some of the things we talked about, he's ready to go right now. You don't have to, hey, man, maybe in a couple weeks he's going to get it going. He's going to get in shape. He's going to get in football shape. Like, no, he's ready to go right now.
It seems like he's already got, what's that, the 3rd receiver slot there over Holton?
Yeah, well, and the thing was, he just signed, a week ago? Saturday. He signed on Saturday after the Thursday night game. Came out there on Sunday, contributed in a major way, and is only going to get better because he's only going to get more comfortable in the offense. He's only going to get more comfortable on special teams. That's the thing I liked about it, man.
I'm down with him. He's
So y'all, everybody need to go apologize to that young man. Golly, all the disrespect y'all be giving. And that's the thing that killed me too, man. Instead of just saying, I want this guy and just keep it positive for this guy, it's like y'all justify wanting this guy by talking bad about the other guys. That's the part I was never a fan of, man. And fans are notorious for that. I love the fans, but they are notorious for that, man. Notorious. Be like, yo, man, I love Terrell Pryor. Man, who's this bum over here, man? He don't even, come on, man. He sucks. Like, you don't have to say that to just say you want Terrell Pryor. Just say you want Terrell Pryor. Like, it's simple. Like, you don't have to, you know what I mean? And everybody's like, I love this Deion Kane. I love him. Oh, now you love him. The mob.
It's got to be entertaining for you.
It is. It is. Even more so now that I'm on this side.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, number 42.
Yeah. It's Kerrith White. I think that's what he said.
I'm just rolling with 40, man.
Yeah, Kerrith White, man. Yeah, he balled out, man. Major way. 6 carries, 43 yards. But we saw the splash that he was providing on the ground.
Absolutely.
That's the thing I love. Used him as a return man as well. Still needed a little, but the thing that I did like was this.
Deontay caught the ball. Wait, how did he play?
Who, Deontay?
What happened? Yes. I did not think he was going to play.
So
what happened?
He got the most quiet, clear the concussion protocol out.
I saw him out there. I'm like,
yeah,
what?
It was wild, man. But even though he caught the ball, he still is showing very bad technique as a punt returner. Catching the ball outside his framework. You saw the one where he's diving, falling down, catching it. Catching the ball inside the 10-yard line. These are all cardinal sins as terms of return bingo. Percentages tell you if you keep doing this stuff, it's going to bite you in the butt in a major way. That's the part for me where I'm just I don't like him back there until he gets those fundamentals square because his margin of error, because his technique is so bad right now, it's so inconsistent, is making it where everything has to be perfect. He has to get it every time because if he slips up in any regard, that ball is a turnover, man. And that kills you. That's a field flipping turnover. You cannot have that. And it's he's lightning once he gets the ball, but even then he still has the ball security issues. I need to get that. They have to get that squared away before it really bites you in the butt. Because we talked about some of the untimely turnovers that we saw from this team early in the season, right? That's cost them. That's a backbreaker, though. If you turn the ball over in special teams, you turn the ball over essentially inside your own 10 because you muff a punt, because you're trying to catch the ball outside your framework, meaning your shoulders, the shoulder is your framework. When you're catching punts, you're supposed to have your elbows tight, tucked together, and the ball should always be in between your shoulders. That's your framework. And with your elbows tight, so if the ball muffs all the way through, as in you don't secure the catch, it falls right in front of you, and you're able to drop down and pick it up. Now with him, you're seeing him catching the ball with his hands outside his shoulders, right? That's outside the framework, right side, left side. Or he's diving forward because his arms aren't secure, his elbows aren't tight together. Now, if he does not catch that ball, it's going to go all over the place. And your chance of getting it go down like drastically. That's stuff you can't do. And then, like you said, man, just the basics of keep your heels at 10. If you got to back up, the ball should go. Leave it alone. It's that simple. But you see him just unaware of where he's at sometimes on the field. Those are the things that's making me nervous because I'm like, yo, I know how this goes. I've seen this before. Prime example, I've seen Eli Rogers. Love Eli. He did that. And that's another reason why we'd have to keep putting AB back there because it's like, yo, Eli, you're turning the ball over. You're not going through the fundamentals that you need to have as a returnman because it's so critical to secure possession, which is why even with Switzer, even though you knew he wasn't going to give you a lot in terms of return yards, you knew he was going to do what? Secure the catch.
Yep.
He wasn't going to turn that ball over. We knew that 100%. And that's the biggest difference right now. Anytime Deontay's back, I'm holding my breath like, oh, God, please don't be this one. Please don't be this one. You're young. They're going to lose their mind on you. Like, I'm serious. I know how it goes for young players, man. And especially Danny Smith. Danny Smith, man, hey, you don't want to turn that ball over like that on punt. No. Don't do that. So I'm just hoping that he gets in the lab. I know these coaches, they're telling him the same thing right now. It's not like this is going to be the first time he hears it. Like, no, they're in these are all the time. Look, every day before practice, it's how you got to start the practice out. You got to catch these punts. You got to catch kickoffs. You got to do this framework. They're preaching it to him because that's costly, man. It's a fundamental error. And you cannot keep getting by with these fundamental errors because they will bite you in the butt. That's how this game works, man.
That's tough to do mid-season because I'm assuming when you're out there in the game, you're just going automatically to what's comfortable.
Yeah, and that's unfortunate. So it's like even though you're trying to hit home with it before every practice on Wednesday, before you practice on Thursday, the returnmen are out there. You got about 10 minutes just catch punts. But the thing is, you got multiple returners, right? So you're not just getting 10 minutes worth of returns by yourself. You might get 3 or 4 in that span. That's the issue. Whereas in OTA's training camp, you got time. There's a lot to you just catching punts.
Yeah.
Now, hopefully he goes out there, gets the extra work in by himself. But that's just something that because you're mentally conditioned to do it a certain way, you have to untrain yourself that and learn the new technique. Because if you don't, it's only a matter of time.
No, absolutely. And finally, my man Benny Snell.
Yeah, man. Look good in the second half. We talked about that.
Do I get credit for that call or no?
I don't think so because in the first half, what did you text me?
What did I say?
Oh, you don't remember?
I don't remember.
You don't remember?
I really don't.
You don't remember when you were like, hey, man, I'd rather just have 40 the rest of the time.
Did I say that?
You said 40 like Barry Sanders, in fact.
I said that. I don't know if I said take Snell out. I don't know
you don't remember that.
I don't think I said that.
Wow.
I really don't think I did.
It's all good, man. Your memory is shot a little bit what it wants to be.
Way,
you were on the 40 train. Heavy.
Dude,
Heavy.
You know how to interpret those texts.
Oh, whatever. No, I do like I said, Benny, like I said, once he got up to speed in the second half, he looked good. I did like that. But we definitely could tell the difference between Benny in the first half, Benny in the second half. It was very clear cut what he looked like. Yeah. That's all I'm saying.
The potential's there, though, huh?
The potential's there?
Workhorse. Bow cow.
Hey, man, I hope so.
Yeah, man.
I hope so. I hope he sustains it.
Definitely. Because that's
backs that take a lot of shots typically don't sustain it.
That's what we've been missing, though, and that's something that we need. Yeah. And who knows when Connor comes back, but he's...
But the one parallel that makes me nervous a little bit, but I do like is this. Similar to James Conner. Physical runners, right? They don't make you miss, though. They take some shots. Benny takes shots. James takes shots, right? They're punishing backs. Attrition, right? Get them 20 carries. It works out. See how they start to break down, though. We've seen with James a little bit this year. He's breaking down. That's all I'm concerned about. But while he's young, man, shoot, run that into the ground, man.
I don't know if you'd agree with me on this. Snell looks like he has a little more wiggle than Connor.
I do agree with that, yes.
Just a little more. I don't know how much that means in terms of him staying healthy, but I would give him those attributes over him.
Yeah, he definitely has a little more wiggle. I do agree with that. So it's going to be cool to see what it looks like the next week and the next week, man. One game, I'm not about to put a crown on nobody, man. I know that's what you like to do. I know that's what fans like to do. One game, you have a guy in the Hall of Fame. And then 2 weeks later, y'all talking about he sucks, get him out of there. I've seen it multiple times this season.
Have I done it?
Yes, you have.
With who?
With Duck. With Mason.
Mason.
No, yeah. Because you said it just so you was like, man, I'm just torn though because it's like I know he could do this, but I need him to do bad so that way Ben is still good.
No, I never said that. No. You're putting words in my mouth.
All right. Okay.
I feel like I said I want him to do good. I don't really know.
You don't want him to do too good because you said you don't want him to mess with Ben. Because you said Ben is your childhood hero.
Yeah, but in terms of what he's going to be, I really didn't know. To be honest with you.
Go ahead.
Can you give me that at least?
I'm with you, man. I'm with you.
That's what I said.
I always say the same thing each week. You could be excited about somebody. You could be optimistic about somebody. Just put caution around it. That's all I'm saying. So as much as you want to give me the Benny Snell was the workhorse, he did this and this and this, we talked about going into the game. One of the major keys was to do what? Run the ball on a bad run defense from the Bengals. He did what he was supposed to do. Mm-hmm. Took advantage of a bad Bengals defense that especially struggled against the run. Let's see it the following week. And the week after that, the real test, okay, this Browns defense playing well, but the real test, that Bills defense is coming in a couple weeks. Show me that. It's simple.
That's fair.
That's gonna be your test. You want to talk about an elite level defense? They're up there. We'll see.
Yeah, I was level headed with Mason, I think, until Ryan Clark sent out that tweet, and then he gave me too much hope. That was my fault. I got to learn from that, where he said Mason's better than Jimmy G, essentially.
Well, at the time, Jimmy G wasn't playing good. Dude. Jimmy G has definitely looked better the past couple weeks. We can agree on that.
Yeah, but this is what I mean with takes and what you say.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think everyone at that time, I don't know. I'm not even gonna get into it. You gotta be patient with things.
Oh man, you're sounding like me now. That's not your style. You're not a patient. Hey, let the process work out. Let's get some more details. Let's get some more information. Let's just see the larger sample size. That's not what you do. That's not what fans do. Y'all are instant. Y'all are right now.
I messed up.
This is what I see.
I messed up there with it. Right? I got too much hype there.
Yeah. For me, I'm like, yo, I'm gonna give you. Hey, let me just see a lot. I'm gonna tell you the positives. I'm gonna tell you the negatives, but I'm not giving you bias. Okay. And like with Benny, it's like it'd be easy to come in like, oh man, Benny killed, man. 21 carries, 98 yards, man. He almost had a hundo on them boys, man. First game back, man. He the guy, man. Hey, forget James Conner. He's the man.
Dude, he's got the eye test though.
See, here you go. Eye test, it factor. He has that thing about him. Mm-hmm. And we saw that worked out. That's all I'm saying, man. So with that being the case, let me just see it another week. And another week when they're playing against a better defense. A defense that's more efficient against the run. We talked about how this Bengals defense was terrible against the run. That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
Yeah. The same way when Mason took off in the second half versus the Dolphins defense. And we talked about how, hey, everybody wanted to crown Mason, remember? Oh, look, he has it. Look at him. He's throwing it, man. He had his best game. And I'm like,
we look back.
Let's see him versus a more competent secondary. We said that. I said that. Well, everybody's looking like, oh, man, nah, man, he did it good, man. Just believe it. I'm like, listen. It's a lot of factors that go into this thing. We talked about Juju, right? That game. Oh, man, Juju bought him. Like, look who Juju was going against. It was a guy that probably wouldn't be on our practice squad right now. But, hey, that's neither here nor there. People don't want to hear that. They just want to hear the instant gratification. That's all. I'm like, hey, man, just take a little bit of time. Just level-headed. Just breathe, woosah, let it marinate. And let's continue to see how this thing goes the week after that. And the week after that. And then in about 3 or 4 weeks, we're going to know what Benny Snell is. In 3 to 4 weeks, we're going to know what Duck is, hopefully.
Dude, you got to call me out because I just said I'm level-headed.
I told you you're not.
Where I literally said at the beginning of the podcast, the season was over in the first half.
Yeah, you're not level-headed. But that's normal. A lot of people aren't.
Yeah. I try to add nuance to it, though.
Have you ever looked at social media? Just get on Twitter during a game, and you can see how unlevel-headed people really are. And that's why I laugh at it. I just love it. I'm like, oh, here they go. Oh, here they go. Oh, they're back here. Oh, he sucks. Oh, he's great now. Oh, he's great. Oh, no, he sucks. Oh, fire this guy. Oh, no, he's good. Extend this guy. Okay. Just, that's all I'm saying, man.
Yeah.
I love it.
I'll say it again. Tough year, but
I love it.
We're 6-5 in the mix.
Hey, can make some noise.
6 seed.
Make some noise.
And I feel like, the noise level can go up a little bit.
I love it. I love this noise you speak of.
I feel like the noise was at a level 5-6.
Mm-hmm.
Told someone, hey man, go make a switch on that noise level.
Okay, all right.
Cranked it up a little bit. So
okay, all right, fair enough. I'm with it, bro. I'm with it. Jeez.
Well, anyway, we got anything else? Any last shout outs? Are we ready to wrap it up?
I think we're good, man. got our key contributors. Talked about Doug. Big ups to him though too. Also, man, just being prepared. Mm-hmm. That's the last thing I want to say, man. He was prepared. Same when we praised Mason about coming in being prepared. You can have whatever you want to say, the moxie, the it, all that stuff, collected, all that. That's cool, but you have to prepare. And Duck showed once again that he was prepared when he got his number called. That's the thing that I do like about him. And you know, I'm biased because he's a 1AA guy. Any of my 1AA guys, I'm gonna ride for 1,000%. Because when you come from a small school, it doesn't sound
like it though. We need a little more. We need a little more hype from you, I think.
No. You want people to just talk reckless. I'm not a reckless talker. You know, but like I love the fact that he's showing that he's prepared. He's showing that he's mentally where he needs to be in terms of studying, in terms of not having the moment being too big. I mean, for him, he's playing as if, hey, he has nothing to lose, and that's what I love about it. Mm-hmm. Because I took a similar approach. It's like, man, I ain't supposed to be here. When you come from a small school, you're not supposed to be in the league. Period. And he's out here like, yo, okay. I'm gonna just play like I'm just playing. Like I'm just in the backyard, 12 years old, doing what I'm doing on Thanksgiving Turkey Bowl. Like, let's get it.
Yeah.
And that's the thing that I love the most about him. So
I do too.
And I hope he continues that.
Yes.
Even if he is named the starter, I hope that he continues to play that, because sometimes when you take guys and you give them that title of starter, their mind changes a little bit. The way they conduct themselves, the way they mentally prepare, the expectation they put on themselves, it changes. So I don't want him to do that. I hope he just still goes out there with that same, man, I'm just Duck. Quack, quack. like, I hope it goes back to that. It stays there.
I'm good with that too. Well, anyway.
Yeah, man.
I appreciate everyone for tuning in.
There it is.
This was a really fun conversation.
Yeah.
Go Steelers, big win.
Absolutely, man.
Quack, quack.
Time for them Browns next week, baby.
Let's go, baby. And until next time.
Peace.